The thug is in.
Man, don't you hate it when, like, you think you click record and then you don't? Thankfully, I realized it's 7 minutes in. But anyway, what is up, guys? This is Logan, also known as LRXC in Pokemon Showdown. And you might be wondering, LRXC, where the heck was the week 3 video? Honestly, 1v1 ADV 1v1 duo Swiss round 3 wasn't exciting enough, or like I didn't feel like I could make enough informative games, or like just make enough quality content out of this week. So I decided to combine the last 2 weeks, week 3 and 4, before the playoffs have started. We'll look at the playoff bracket later, but let's go first to the big revelation of ADV 1v1 in these past 2 weeks. The biggest trend, Clefable. I never talked about Clefable in my ADV 1v1 sets guide. We've barely seen it before, and we are starting to see that this thing is an absolute monster. And let's just look at what it's basically trying to do in ADV 1v1. An irrelevant Pokemon in ADV OU, by the way. So this is Clefable's main thing. It's going to tank a hit. It's going to Thunder Wave. Okay, so it's T-Wave Clefable, and then it's soft boiling up, eating up the Hydro Pumps and trying to fish for either a miss or a paralyze. Gets the paralysis, and now it's going to start breaking down with Seismic Toss. Starmie thinks it's an okay idea to substitute. Clefable has one of the most broken moves in ADV, Encore. Encore in ADV lasts 3 to 6 turns, and now the Starmie is done. And what was Starmie supposed to do about this in the first place? Nothing. The answer is nothing, because here's the dilemma with this Clefable set: Thunder Wave, Soft Boiled, Seismic Toss, Encore. If you don't attack the Clefable turn 1 or click substitute, you're going to get Thunder Waved and then Encored. That is the thing, and then you're going to lose because it's just going to slowly break you down with Seismic Toss. And then you attack, and then so you can attack Clefable. But Clefable is still relatively bulky. Like, it's not going to get O-code by anything that isn't a fighting move, or like a choice banded Hyper Beam or some ridiculous choice banded move. It's not going to get KO'd by it. And so it can still click Thunder Wave turn 1 and then soft boiled up and fish for either a miss or a paralysis. And it has a lot of chances to do so, especially if it's packing leftovers, which this one wasn't. So that's the kind of the basic idea of Clefable. We can see Clefable work again here. By the way, this is Crucify and PQS both using Clefable. Is apparently Potato Chan's set, but it seems like a lot of people were thinking of Clefable in the first place. Crucify 3-0'd Partman with only using Clefable. Let's check this out. Alakazam clicks substitute turn 1. What does Crucify do? Encore. And it's over. Sub. Seismic. Sub. Seismic. Sub. Seismic's gonna break the sub. Sub. Oh no. I mean, even if it got the launch off a Psychic, I'm not sure it would have killed the Clefable. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have. Because, like, we look here, Clefable is still just, like, relatively bulky, 95-90, that's solid. And yeah, but think about this, like, Alakazam attacks turn 1, unless, like, a Pokemon is packing a super big punch right away, you can still get Encored and lose. Like, you could still get Encored into an attack and lose. And if you're afraid of Thunder Wave and you try to click substitute, such as this, which is the game 3, I'm afraid of Thunder Wave, I'm gonna sub turn 1, Encore. It's over. It's the same thing. And this is what is causing Clefable to become very, very good. And differentiating itself from Registeel with instant recovery, no rest stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's putting in work. Yeah. So now, what happened here? I think PQS just pulled off this. Oh, yeah, PQS just pulled off the same thing. It's over. Anyway, PQS versus Tenzi. Hilariously, this is week 4 now. PQS 3-0'd Tenzi by only using Clefable yet again, and we are going to figure out why. So look at this. Okay, surely a Bandit Salamence maybe with Brick Break. It's not going to KO Clefable, but like it'll 2-hit KO, and even if Salamence gets paralyzed, surely like it could maybe break through the hacks. Who knows? Dragon Dance's turn 1. PQS pulls out Charm Clefable. Now we have multiple Clefable sets that we have to account for. Tenzi's realizing that Dragon Dancing up when you're only getting +1 attack, and Clefable is taking you down by 2 attack points is useless. I'm just going to start attacking and fishing for crits, and it does nothing, and Clefable's going to Seismic Toss. You know, maybe throw in a Soft Boiled. Actually, it doesn't. It just keeps clicking Seismic Toss, and Clefable just wins. Let's look at this one. Clefable versus the main rival, Registeel. Who's the better stall Pokemon? Seismic Tosses turn 1, it's faster. Registeel Seismic Tosses. Good play from Tenzai, I forgot how to say it. Because, like, if you don't click an attacking move turn 1, you're going to get encored into Seismic Toss, and you're going to lose. So you got to click Seismic Toss turn 1. But look at this. Even with the Seismic Toss turn 1, this is a special... I think this might be only with leftovers, Clefable. You encore the Seismic Toss, but look, you can just Seismic Toss yourself. You soft-boiled up. You soft-boiled up. You Seismic Toss. You soft-boiled. You encore so that they keep Seismic Tossing, and you just keep breaking down. Get out of it. You just keep breaking down with the Seismic Toss, and you eventually win. Kind of nuts, honestly, that Clefable can now do that, and it didn't need Charm to do that. And now... this is the funniest part about Clefable that like just takes it to another level of unseen annoyance. Look at this. Tenzi's like, I've had enough. I'm clicking the fighting type into Clefable. I don't care if you predict me and go Zapdos. And honestly, Blaziken has a nasty matchup versus his team in general because Zapdos isn't like super duper like Zapdos is definitely a Blaziken check, I suppose, but Blaziken can surely win with like if it's faster and maybe has a Pataya Fire Blast, predicts correctly with an Endure HP Ice, and it Fire Blasts turn 1 because Blaziken's never going to get KO'd by Zapdos unless it's like Banned Drill Peck. But anyway, check this out. Sky Uppercut, it's doing a lot. Cute Charm. Infatuation into Thunder Wave. Yes, Clefable has Cute Charm. So if... wait a second, does Clefable have to be a... no, Clefable can be either gender, which is what I thought. But now, if Clefable gets lucky with the gender that you are and gets hit with a contact move, now you could potentially have to deal with Infatuation and paralysis. And now look, it's losing. It's losing. And this is a fighting type. And it's not doing enough. I mean, Blaziken, this is probably a weaker Blaziken in general. But yeah, because it's not banned, the Clefable is winning and is slowly breaking down. Very, very annoying. And Picas didn't have to change his team the whole time. Yeah, so we're just seeing this rise of Clefable. And as we look at some of the sets later on, we are going to see Clefable used again in another cool way. But yeah, this is kind of the rise of Clefable and how it's been putting in work. I might make a video sometime down the line, like going more into depth about why Clefable has been rising. But yeah, it is it's an annoying Pokemon. Anyway, let's go on to another thing that I wanted to talk about. What did I say? That was it for Clefable? Did I say that was it with Clefable? No. Adam3560 starting to turn into a very, very competent ADV player. Also decided to jump on the Clefable trend recently and destroyed Pokeotter with Clefable. And let's look at how. Let's get this interesting matchup. Clefable versus Sceptile. Protect Sceptile. Clefable's going to click Encore, which is the play because, yeah, you get Leaf Bladed. You're probably not taking enough to get to it KO'd, so you might as well Encore anything. It reveals that it's Seismic Toss, probably the Protect Seismic Toss Leech Seed set with Sub that beats Registeel and a ton of other stuff if you don't KO it. Encore's the Seismic Toss. Let's see how Clefable does. Clefable is slower here. Seismic Toss decides to Thunder Wave. Good play. It has a lot of time, too, because it's only being hit by Seismic Toss as opposed to Leaf Blade. Paralysis, and now... Clefable is starting to put in the work. Seismic Tosses, Encore is active. It's going to just keep breaking it down with Seismic Toss, Seismic Toss. Encore ends, but you just Encore it back. Has enough time to keep soft boiling, Seismic Toss, Protect. It's not going to save it. Encore is the Protect. It's too much. It's too much. And Clefable slowly breaks it down and beats the Sceptile. Yeah, kind of nutty. I think this was Sceptile into the Rhydon, into the Ursaring. I mean, Kingdra should have also beat the Rhydon, but I guess Pokeotter thought that, you know, Sceptile just had an overall matchup versus Clefable in case Clefable was picked. Yeah, kind of crazy. And now look at this. This is nuts. You might have been thinking before, LRXC, Alakazam, if it gets paralyzed, it has Synchronize, and Clefable gets paralyzed as well. I'm just going to let this play. Psychics turn 1, solid play. Thunder Wave, Synchronize, Lumberry Clefable, the tech. Seismic Tosses, it's too little, too late. Yeah, sure, Seismic Toss. It's just going to be able to Soft Boiled, fish for Paralysis. Goes for Calm Mind, that's a losing play. You're going to get Encored, and that's over. And like, if we just revisit this and just look at, let's say that, you know, it didn't Calm Mind. So, yeah, it can keep trying to break down with Psychic, and it could fish for a crit, but like, odds are Clefable's going to keep living, and eventually the Alakazam is going to get paralyzed, and then it just wins. So that is the power of Clefable. Now it can run Lumberry, all the different things. Very, very cool Pokemon. Yeah, so now we are going to okay, so I just want to talk about something that I've been meaning to talk about in some of the past videos that I hope people realize. I mean, it's too late obviously for a lot of you guys or other people that aren't even in the tournament, but just so you know, this Zapdos and on the Marowak, I just need everybody to know that if Marowak clicked counter, this Zapdos was dead pretty much. So in ADV, Hidden Power's original form is normal type, which is a physical type, and so no matter what hidden power you use, even if it's grass like it is here or ice, I doubt it's ice, it's probably grass because it's a Regice, Marowak can still click counter and it will activate and it can kill the Zapdos. And I've seen so many Zapdoses click hidden power grass turn 1 versus the Marowak, and if the Marowak clicked counter, the Zapdos could totally just die, but it keeps getting away with it. Too late here, and Adam won there. This is another thing that happened. Earth Gurgle versus Death to the West. Now, again, I think because of Marowak's low HP, if it's very Spadef, Hidden Power Grass on the counter, like, counter won't kill the Zapdos, but, like, just look at here. Happens again. Marowak into the Zapdos. Hidden Power Grass doesn't do a lot there, but, I mean, we actually see here that thankfully it's the Subpataya HP Ice that wins the game. But yeah, I just want to let you know that you can counter on Hidden Power, which means that counter Swampert is good if you can bulk Hidden Power grasses. That is a surprise tactic. And then I just want to appreciate a really, really cool C team idea here by Adam versus the Gaming Attack. Same series as this one. Adam totally throttled this dude. I think what Adam noticed is, okay, the Gaming Attack is using a core of Marowak and Salamence, which is obviously very, very weak to Ice-type Pokemon. And what they were using as their Ice-type answer is Ursaring, which is a very, very good Regice answer. Like, the only two viable Ice-types pretty much are Regice and Walrein, and what just breaks through them? A Choice Band Ursaring clicking Hyper Beam. They can't do a thing about it. Or like a Jinx, which Jinx is never going to win. But Adam decided to come up with this cool idea of still using an ice type to totally destroy these two Pokemon. I mean, again, Articuno kind of sucks because, like, Salamence could totally be faster with a Choice Banded Rock Slide and kill it, but maybe Adam knew that it wasn't Rock Slide. Anyway, check this out. Using an ice type that beats Ursaring, and in a very cool way. This was Reflect Articuno. So, so cool. Takes nothing from return. Ice Beam. Returns again. It's probably going to sub into nope, just Ice Beams. Crit didn't matter. I mean, unless he got critted back. But I just thought that was a really cool, just a smart C team idea, was Reflect Articuno. Cool set, cool idea. ADV is cool. And now we are going to look at some matches. And now we have Gymsocks versus Firmhandshake. This is a good match. It's honestly more of like a story-like match. It tells a story. So Firmhandshake, this tournament doesn't mean anything to them. I mean, they're out of the tournament pretty much. Doesn't matter if they win or lose. But Gymsocks, on the other hand, has to win this for their team to be into playoffs. Gymsocks was paired with ADV Cup winner Boat, also known as 5 Wings 99, and Gymsocks is a just won 1v1 majors. He's a good 1v1er. Yeah, so let's just see how this plays out. Let's look at the previews from both ends. Standard looking team from Firmhandshake. I mean, ADV OU Legends, ADV 1v1 Legends, Metagross, Zapdos, T-Tar. Can't go wrong with using the Brokens. Gymsocks copies the Zapdos, but instead he's using Regice and Houndoom. When I saw this preview, the biggest thing that stood out right away was, okay, what is Gymsocks' Tyranitar answer? I actually secretly knew in my head what I felt like it was going to be. I didn't think Gymsocks was the type to run Bandit Zapdos with Hidden Power Fighting Max Attack as their Tyranitar answer. That would have felt too risky for Gymsocks. And also, I think Band on this team, like, I mean, I guess it helps deal with, but it's not as much needed because, like, Sceptile is destroyed by Houndoom and Regice pretty much. Unless it's Banded Sceptile Surprise on the Houndoom and it's not Salac. But either way, I wasn't expecting the Band Zapdos here. I see no world where Firmhandshake wasn't going Tyranitar, and it was mainly just like, what is Gymsocks going to bring for the Tyranitar? Let's see here. Houndoom, instant analysis as this looks like a pick hard into Metagross and Zapdos, hoping that he picks one of those. But let's see how this plays out. Houndoom subs turn 1. Tyranitar is going to Earthquake. Let's see, so Houndoom's takes Sand. Houndoom subs again. We see the taunt. Reminder, taunt only lasts 2 turns, including the turn that it's used. So it's only going to last for turn 3. Reversal Houndoom. It has been revealed the idea of this Houndoom is sub-reversal Houndoom. This must have been a hard Tyranitar lure team since all of these teams are weak to, since all of these Pokemon are weak to rock. I assume the Aerodactyl answer was a defensive Regice, hoping to not get flinched. Same with Zapdos. Zero clue how this team beat Regirock or Armaldo. Was probably hoping that Firmhandshake wasn't going to bring them. Anyway, see the Earthquake. Taunt doesn't mean anything because like it was hiding behind a substitute, and Houndoom's going to be able to sub one more time. Tyranitar's going to Earthquake, but it's going to eat a Lychee boosted, I believe. A Lychee boosted reversal to lure the Tyranitar. Very, very cool team from Gymsox. A little bit obvious, but that's only to me because I kind of know ADV a lot. Totally destroyed Firmhandshake there. On to game 2. Gymsox on the bottom again. Is going to obviously bring a different team. I mean, like the tech was revealed. Firmhandshake brings the exact same team, at least on preview. And Gymsox rocking a very cool Metagross, Walrein, Medicham team. I think Medicham is being underused a little bit. It's pretty much an anti-BS fighting type. Okay, analysis here. I mean, same deal from Firmhandshake, just standard Pokemon. Gymsox's Metagross answer is apparently their own Metagross, I guess, because Walrein's never winning, and Medicham is just never winning. It's just taking too much damage. Unless it's like really fast sub-reversal Medicham, that is an option, and I could see that being picked here because it kind of destroys Metagross and Tyranitar. And Walrein is a Zapdos answer usually, unless it's Pataya Zapdos, then it's kind of 50-50 City with Encore on the substitute, or Icy Wind on the Thunderbolt. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, like, but still, Gymsox's Zapdos matchup is ass. So, like, another just getting rewarded for bringing good Pokemon. Let's just see what happens here. So, Firmhandshake goes to Metagross. I mean, Metagross has a winning matchup against all of these. And let's see what happens into the other Metagross. Gymsox is fast or uses Earthquake. Firmhandshake apparently doesn't have Shadow Ball, or doesn't have Earthquake. Or else, like, you 100% would have picked it. Unless, like, the only reason I could see Shadow Ball being clicked was to somehow outplay, like, putting Gymsox into a range where a berry would activate, but that honestly makes no sense. I think this Metagross was just lacking Earthquake, which is surprising. Probably had Meteor Mash, Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, and then I guess Dynamic Punch for counter Blissey. Yeah. That is my read, but let's see what happens. Gets crit, unfortunate, but perfectly into the Salac Berry, which I assume was the idea, so that Gymsox could Earthquake into Earthquake again. And Earthquakes, and I guess gets the roll. I don't know what the rolls were like, but yeah, I guess Gymsox got lucky there, but I think the idea was to lure opposing Metagross. So Gymsox is handing it to this person right now with dedicated lure teams, and they're both working. Absolute destruction. Gymsox is feeling himself. Game 3 brings Feraligatr, Sceptile Typhlosion. He brought Feraligatr once before, but I still have no clue what it was trying to do. Seems kind of interesting, to be honest. I'll have to ask them about it afterwards, but Gymsox is feeling themselves. Nice Firewater Grass Core and Firmhandshake, rocking the Tyranitar again, but bringing a team that is almost asking to lose to the said sub-reversal Houndoom. I mean, Houndoom obliterates Venusaur, Scizor, and sub-reversal Houndoom is a Tyranitar answer from the Tyranitars that Firmhandshake has been bringing. So almost confusing, but yeah, interesting. Anyway, let's look at the preview. Venusaur should be a Sceptile answer. It's actually a lot shakier, which we will explore later. I mean, this is looking like a very, just a big 2-1. I mean, either you pick Typhlosion into the Scizor or the Venusaur. I think Scizor does a lot more than Venusaur here overall, because it's not weak to ice, which I guess Feraligatr could be carrying. Or you pick Feraligatr or Sceptile into the Tyranitar, and I think you'd go Feraligatr because it has a better chance versus the Scizor, I guess. So it just seems like a 2-1 to me. Either way, let's see. Typhlosion, Firmhandshake calls it. Is not going to pick one of these and goes Tyranitar into the Typhlosion. Funny enough, Typhlosion also has reversal, but let's hope it's not that. Clicks Earthquake, Fire Blast. Not Blast Burn, surprisingly. It's Salac Berry Typhlosion. Very interesting. Clicks a Blast Burn. Doesn't kill Tyranitar because Tyranitar is super bulky. And Firmhandshake is bringing it back with Game 3. And now we see something crazy. Gymsox brings the same lure team from Game 1 because he thinks like, okay, maybe he's just gonna repeat the same team, and he calls it, and he repeats the same team. So we both, like me and you, the viewer, probably both know what two Pokemon are being clicked here. Houndoom into the Tyranitar, and here we're going to see something beautiful. Substitutes turn 1, Dragon Dance Tyranitar. So first of all, just to clarify, you might be wondering with like sand and stuff, the idea of this Houndoom is you invest enough HP to where like you take enough sand damage after 3 substitutes to be in a range where Lychee Reversal will destroy Tyranitar. The problem is that it's almost taking into account that either the Tyranitar will misplay like it did here and just start attacking turn 1, which I mean, it isn't really a misplay if you know what I mean. Like, you know, you don't want to get hit by 2 hidden power grasses or something. Like, I don't know, like it's not really that much of a misplay. But let's look what happens here. Dragon Dance turn 1. What happens if the Tyranitar just doesn't break Houndoom's substitute and makes it take more sand damage than is necessary? Sand is taken into effect. Dragon Dances again. Houndoom subs. Gymsock's predicting an earthquake there. I mean, like, imagine if Houndoom... Oh my gosh, an ad. Okay, yeah, GoDaddy does more. I'm gonna drink water, actually. Yeah, GoDaddy. Okay, we got a fire beat over here. What was I saying? Yes. So, I mean, you can imagine here, I mean, like, if Gymsocks doesn't click substitute here and Tyranitar earthquaked there, Houndoom was dead. So, obviously a smart play from Gymsocks, but Firmhandshake is just going to keep Dragon Dancing up, knowing that Reversal without being at super low HP is stupid weak. Because Reversal, yeah, I mean, you should know if you're watching this video. Taunts, Gymsocks calls it, goes Reversal. If Gymsocks did not Reversal there, this was over. So, get some nice chip, 27%, but now we're in a peculiar situation because now the taunt was faster, so it lasted that turn, and now look what happens. Earthquake, but Houndoom isn't at enough HP where Reversal is going to do enough damage, and even a crit Reversal at half HP doesn't kill the Tyranitar. And Firmhandshake reverse lures Gymsocks, I suppose, by Dragon Dancing and outplaying the Houndoom that is supposed to be Tyranitar in the first place. Crazy. Awesome. Firmhandshake is showing adaptation. And now we're on to game 5. And you guys might be like, what in the world is Gymsocks thinking? Bringing the exact same team? What? After it just got obliterated and now Nose loses to Dragon Dance Tyranitar pretty much? What's the answer? And Firmhandshake is just like, yo, I like this first team that I have. I'm not going to bring this team again because it's kind of swanky. I mean, and let's just see what happens here. Play. I mean, no need to analyze. Gymsocks goes Zapdos. I was very confused when I saw this pick. I was like, is Gymsocks just hoping for the overthink? I mean, I'm also still confused in general. Please don't tell me this is paused. Okay, holy crap. Oh my gosh, I thought this video was paused for a second. I would have been like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to live through the same emotions again? Anyway, perhaps. I don't know why I said perhaps there. Anyway, let's look what happens here. Sub, turn 1. Into the Dragon Dance. Smart play by that Tyranitar. Outpace the substitutes, start breaking it down. But we see no lefties, so it's Sub Pattaya Thunder. Thunder does 49%, doesn't get a paralysis. I don't know why this Tyranitar is still Dragon Dancing. I don't think that's a good play. It should be attacking. Rock Slide hits, obviously breaks the substitute. Gymsocks is now going to start substituting to get into that Pattaya range. It's a very interesting dynamic because like the Tyranitar can't really just sit there and keep Dragon Dancing because the sand will slowly take it into that Pattaya's Thunder range. The Tyranitar wants the Zapdos to not be behind a sub and then outspeed and kill. So let's see what happens. Sub. Lefty's recovery is super helpful here. Rock Slide is gonna sub again and try to hit the Pattaya Thunder at a perfect 1%. And as all things go in 1v1, sometimes you just miss. And in ADV it sucks when you miss, but it's amplified 5 times more in 1v1 when the immediate is so much more important than the long game. Jimstock says, bruh, hacks 3 weeks in a row. I mean, dude, like, yeah, I guess that was hacks, but you are running Thunder, and you were hoping to hit multiple Thunders, and you brought this team 3 times. So, I don't know, dude, that's kind of your fault. But still, props to both players. I just thought that was an amazing kind of, like, story, I guess. Like, I don't know, like, what a great series that I feel like people just totally overlooked. Tyranitar winning all these games, and, like, yeah, Firmhandshake with the comeback. Okay, so now we got a really cool series, and these guys played 10 games because they played 2 weeks in a row, and yeah. Wait, I shouldn't have revealed that. Okay, so now we got a crazy series between Elo Bandit and DenisTheMenace. Elo Bandit, known 1v1er, DenisTheMenace, veteran at 1v1, very, very, very good, under the alt La Menacia, I think is how you would pronounce it, perhaps. And yeah, these guys played a lot of games, and we're gonna look at all of them because they're sick. Or they're not like super sick, but they're just cool. So first off, let's look at Dennis's team. Salamence, Tyranitar, again, just ADV OU greats, also ADV 1v1 greats, and then a cool third in Venusaur, because I think the idea of Venusaur here is like Salamence and Tyranitar are going to struggle with defensive water types such as Swampert, Vaporeon, and like also kind of like it's like shaky against ground types, mainly Marowak, and Venusaur covers that as a grass type, but because of its secondary poison typing, also covers the awkward Sceptile matchup, because Sceptile can be carrying hidden power ice and finesse the Salamence. And yeah, and also Venusaur's just kind of cool. So I like the team from Dennis here. Then from Elo Bandit's side, I don't even know what the fuck to say about this. I swore, whatever. Kingdra, Tauros, Grumpig. Tauros is a great Pokemon. Grumpig, not the best. Kingdra, I didn't even talk about because I don't know what that gets supposed to do, but it's going to see a lot of usage this series. So my analysis is that, like, I mean, Tauros just by far seems like the best click, right? I mean, like, you can go counter Grumpig and hope this is banded Salamence, also hope this is banded Tyranitar, but I don't think these are banned, and so I think one of these is Dragon Dance, and Grumpig does handle the Venusaur. Because I think one potential problem is this could be banned Tauros, maybe not kill the Venusaur. Venusaur gets an Overgrow Frenzy Plant, which would be nuts, and kill the Venusaur, or kill the Tauros. I have no clue how Kingdra matches up. I mean, like, I guess Kingdra matches up well because, like, if it's general bulk and it could have a dragon move for Salamence, it's really interesting, honestly. Because Grumpig is usually running Trick Choice Band. I don't know. Let's see how this plays out. So Tauros, I feel like that was the overall, like, solid click into this whole team. Let's see what happens versus the Salamence. Looks like banded damage, and it's Reals the Salamence. This is probably my Iron Defense Dragon Claw set, because we see no leftovers recovery, which means it's probably Resto Chesto. Eats another return, and gets 2 KO'd by a very powerful Dragon Claw, which is also cool because it wasn't affected by Tauros's Intimidate, which is why Elo Bandit probably felt that Tauros had such a nasty matchup. Cool set. And I think Salamence is being underused in general, but yeah, cool. And I'm assuming that the Dragon Claw wasn't like a roll. Hope Dennis probably calced, but yeah, cool. Anyway, Dennis is up 1-0. Game 2. Elo decides to bring the Kingdra again, but with a not swankier, just has a jump bluff. And Dennis is sticking with some solid Pokemon, bringing back the Tyranitar and using Zapdos Heracross. Just all great Pokemon. Looking at the matchup here, Jumpluff's matchup is actually potentially nasty. I mean, if it's the Amnesia set, Jumpluff does get destroyed by, well, does it even? It doesn't. I think it would still beat Heracross. It would lose to Tyranitar hard, and it would beat the Zapdos unless the Zapdos is banded Dropep, which it probably isn't. So Jumpluff is looking like a really nice click here, especially with Kingdra scaring out the Tyranitar, I would assume, as well as Metagross beating Tyranitar most of the time. Elo Bandit Zapdos answer, it has to be the Jumpluff, but again, if it's banded, what does Elo do? I guess Metagross beats banded. Don't give me an ad. It's giving me an ad. It's giving me an ad. Honestly. Okay. No. So yeah, just an interesting preview to look at. Let's just see how it plays out. So we see Jumpluff into the Zapdos. We see its Leech Seed, and it tanks and Hidden Power Ice. The Zapdos was probably Hidden Power Ice, seeing that this team got obliterated by Bandit Salamence, clicking Brick Break and Aerial Ace. Literally couldn't do anything about it. So it makes sense that this was probably a Hidden Power Ice Zapdos. But it doesn't kill the Jumpluff because, like, I guess Jumpluff has nasty Spadef. Like, does it? I kind of forgot. 75-85. What's Salamence? 95. I guess it was just a very weak Hidden Power Ice because, like, I mean, it 100% couldn't have been Hidden Power Poison. That would have made no sense. It has to be super effective. So it's either Poison, Ice, Rock. Rock makes literally no sense. And it did way too much for Hidden Power Rock, so it has to be Hidden Power Ice. And we see here, it's not Amnesia, but it's just a regular Leech Seed sub-protected Jumpluff. I would assume with Encore, which is kind of cool. So it's not the Amnesia set that is anti-stall, but it's just another surprise Leech Seed stall set from Elo Bandit. He also brought Leech Stall Venusaur before, which is kind of cool. And this Zapdos. And also, let's look at these plays. Let's see if we remember something from the last video. Sub once. So you usually alternate sub protect, but here you're gonna sub again in case this Zapdos is Salac Berry, so that you could protect on the incoming Salac Berry. Now it is revealed to be Patai Berry, which is what I presumed, but now Elo Bandit can just protect and win. And Elo Bandit brings it back 1-1, tied, game 3. And now we see Denis switching it up totally. Mons that we've never seen on a team before. I mean, not on a team. These are all good Pokemon, but on Denis's preview so far. Raikou, Marowak, Zard in on. Elo Bandit still rocking the Kingdra for moral support. And bringing it this time with Celebi Tyranitar. Yeah. Just very interesting in general. Again, it's like, what is Elo Bandit's Metagross answer? It has to be the Celebi, and you're just hoping that Metagross doesn't have Hidden Power Bug, which is fair. This is probably the Leech Stall Celebi. But I'm also thinking, like, you know, like, I mean, I guess Celebi handles fighting types. I guess it's solid. It's just like, what does Kingdra do, you know? Like, I don't know. Kingdra's matchup, I mean, so what this looks like to me is Tyranitar into the Charizard or the Raikou, hoping Marowak doesn't come out, and Kingdra and Celebi scares Marowak out. But then, you know, if you call that, you just go Marowak into the Tyranitar, or if you call one of these into the Marowak, what do you go? I think Raikou has a phenomenal matchup versus both of these Pokemon clicking Calm Mind, and it's just a better Charizard here. So I think it's either going to be Marowak or the Raikou. Hold on, not this song. Oh my gosh, another ad. Wow. Okay, cool. 15 seconds as well. Very nice. Very nice. Start a vacation. Best family vacation spots. Start again. Search on Google. Cuphead. What are we looking at? This essay. Okay. So yeah, I think Marowak or Raikou's coming out, and I don't know. It's one of. I mean, it's either one of these. But let's just see what happens here. I think Denis makes a good call here and goes Marowak into Tyranitar, and here's why. Because if we looked at the game before, it kind of seemed that Elo was going Jumpluff into this, hoping that Kingdra and Metagross scared out the Tyranitar. Elo, I think, followed the same pattern here, going Tyranitar into these two, hoping that the Kingdra and the Celebi scared the Marowak out. Denis kind of calls that pattern, and I mean, Marowak is just going to beat the Tyranitar unless it's like some crazy defensive counter set, but Denis makes a knowledgeable pick based off of the patterns of the past and takes it up to 2-1. Now, this is nuts. Wait, is this the nuts replay? Oh, yeah. Well, this is kind of a nuts replay, so check this out. Elo Bandit mixing up, gives up on Kingdra, never got clicked, never did anything, goes Gengar, Sceptile, Marowak, and Denis reuses the team from game 1. Seems to be a solid team, and Denis gets a nice matchup here with Sceptile, and with Venusaur hard beating Sceptile and Marowak, which are hard answers to these two. And also, I mean, like, I guess Venusaur has a fine matchup versus Gengar. I mean, no, I mean, Gengar's most likely using Fire Punch and Ice Punch, and Venusaur can't hit Gengar with Earthquake, Frenzy, or Sludge Bomb. Literally anything, unless it's like Hidden Power Ghost, which would be like just stupid. So yeah. And Denis's Gengar answer, I mean, like, Gengar is always shaky because, like, it's like sometimes you don't know if you actually beat Gengar, because like imagine here, like Gengar could be a Wisp set and actually beat the Tyranitar, unless the Tyranitar is rocking Crunch. Gengar can just have Ice Punch and just beat the Salamence. So like Gengar does some work here. I mean, whenever you look at a team and you think, does it beat Gengar, you also have to think, does it beat Alakazam? And I think the Alakazam answer here on Dennis's team is the Tyranitar. And Gengar has an overall better matchup versus Tyranitar than Zam. So we could totally see Gengar come out here. But Elo Bandit could also call that and hard pick into the Tyranitar, and I think the best shot at that would be it would be Marowak, but Sceptile also kind of cutely covers the Salamence, but also potentially cutely covers something else. Let's check it out. Elo Bandit, hard Sceptile into the Venusaur. Hold on a second, this is about to end. Let's go back to this. Dennis hard calls out the Sceptile and goes Venusaur, but is surprised by this. Yeah, let's just let this play out. Hidden Power Ice, Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb doesn't kill the Sceptile, and it gets a Pataya Berry Hidden Power Ice, and the premier and the supposed Sceptile answer Venusaur just lost to Sceptile. This is admittedly my doing. I didn't really think that much about Venusaur being a Sceptile answer. I advertised it as one, but like forgot to realize that like Sludge Bomb isn't going to kill Sceptile often if you're not attack invested, and you can get hit into the plus special attack range and eat a Hidden Power Ice. So yeah, I guess Venusaurs have to be EV differently, and Sceptile is busted, but kind of my fault here, but also Dennis could have researched the sets more, because I mean, this was definitely my set, and this was, I mean, not my set, it's just a Sceptile set, but yeah. So we see Sceptile beat the Venusaur, and now it's 2-2. Yeah. So Dennis sadly did not get rewarded for the hard call out. I feel like Dennis is reading Elo Bandit really well here, but I mean, Elo Bandit just got nice there. Yeah. And now we see Elo Bandit goes back to that game one team. I mean, he lost with it, but I apparently believes in it. And Dennis brings out a Zapdos, Celebi, Aerodactyl team. Very, very cool. I mean, what I'm thinking about here is that like the Tauros matchup is nuts. Kingdra could be hard picked into the Arrow. Counter Grumpig would beat Aerodactyl if it is Bandit Aerodactyl, unless Sky Attack I think might kill the Grumpig. Yeah, I'll let you guys think about this for a little bit, but like this is just a really, really cool game 5. I don't have much else to say, but check this out. Elo Bandit makes a smart Tauros pick. I mean, Tauros has a pretty nice matchup versus Zapdos and Celebi. If it's banded with like potentially Iron Tail or just Rock Slide. I don't think Tauros actually gets Rock Slide, or just like in general, Tauros can actually handle Aerodactyl potentially if it gets knocked into Lychee and kills it with a Hyper Beam, stuff like that. It's just a good mon here. We see the Celebi. I feel like Elo wins here, but check out this cool set. A relic of the past. This was used like 3 years ago when ADV 1v1 became a thing. Reflect Celebi. And the thing is that if this was just Sub-Seed Celebi, I don't think it would have enough bulk to handle a potentially banded Tauros. So you see here, it's Return, and let's just replay that, just so that I'm not speeding through it. Super duper cool here. Look, Return takes down Celebi. Celebi clicks Reflect, returns again. Celebi is able to get that Giga Drain off. I don't think it is Leftovers. It literally isn't. I think it's Pataya. Or it could be Reflect Resto Chesto, actually, similar to the ID Ments. So very, very cool. And Giga Drain into Psychic, and Celebi kind of lures into Tauros and has a very, very cool game 5. We see the potential power of Reflect again, and Celebi's versatility, because Sceptile would not have able to set up Reflect nor hit with Psychic. So yeah, we're seeing Celebi put in work. I underestimate Celebi all the time, and Dennis takes it in 5. And now they play again the next week, Elo Bandit versus DenisTheMenace. So they have prep on each other. They know what each other like to bring. And so we have just an exciting 1v1 match. And look at these previews. These previews are nuts. Oh my gosh, another ad. Celebrate summer at Ashley Home Store. No. We're going back to this song. So, sick previews from both ends. I mean, okay, this is kind of boring. Clefable is still kind of swanky right now, but Sceptile, Gyarados, Regirock, so cool looking. Let's look at what we got here. What I see here is just an obvious, like, okay, like, I mean, Clefable is just nasty here still. It's so crazy how nasty Clefable is here, because, like, think about if this is Dragon Dance Gyarados, okay? So You Dragon Dance turn 1. I mean, you can't, if you, like, let's say, what can Gyarados do about a Clefable clicking Encore turn 1? If you Dragon Dance, you lose. If you, well, actually, now that I think about it, if Gyarados Dragon Dances enough and doesn't get broken down by Clefable Seismic Toss, which is unlikely, after Paralysis and outspeeds, Dragon Dancing turn 1 might win, potentially. But, I mean, if you attack turn 1, if this is like sub-Flail, Hidden Power Flying isn't going to do enough right away for it to matter. You Hidden Power Flying turn 1, Encore, sure. Clefable then just paralyzes you, soft boils up and fishes for the paralysis, and probably wins. Sceptile is shaky against Clefable because of Encore, and Regirock would be very nice into the Clefable. That would be the hard answer. Just banned, just destroy it, kill it. And also with Clear Body, you can't get charmed, which is cool. Regirock should also be destroying Zapdos, but hard loses to the Heracross. Heracross answer seems to be Gyarados here. So yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how it's feeling. And if you're going hard into the Gyarados, I mean, if you really want to go hard into the Gyarados, I guess you go Zapdos, but I think Clefable is an overall safe middle ground here that you would pick into the Gyarados. So let's see what happens here. Elo Bandit goes Regirock into the Clefable. Great pick, but let's see what happens here. Thunder Wave turn 1. Rock Slide does a ton to the Clefable. We don't see leftovers. It's going to Seismic Toss down. Doesn't have lefties, but it isn't superpower apparently. Ganlon Berry. Let's look at what Ganlon Berry does. Raises defense, holder's defense by 1 stage when at 1/4 HP or less. Kind of weird. So it's kind of like a worse Key Berry in ADV. And a very fascinating idea on Clefable, because now you're eating up the Rock Slides as you soft-boiled up. Rock Slide's doing nothing, and now you can safely soft-boiled again, fish for paralysis. Doesn't get it, but it doesn't matter. You're not getting flinched either. Now you can just start breaking down with Seismic Toss. Soft-boileds up, Seismic Toss, Seismic Toss. Clefable is nuts. Clefable is nuts. I don't know where I'm going to rank it, but look, Clefable just won an important game there, and Regirock was the seeming Clefable answer, but Clefable just seems to be such a good Gloomon, beating so many different Pokemon with outplay potential. Yeah, kind of nuts and scary. So Denis is up 1 game. Denis brings an old team from, I mean, I think PQS and Crucify were using this, where you see the Charizard, Blastoise, Registeel, and Elo Bandit reusing that Metagross, Kingdra, Jumpluff team. I mean, Registeel answer is probably Encore Jumpluff. I think that's the last move on Jumpluff. Would also handle the Blastoise, I think. I mean, Icy Wind is actually a problem. Probably eats it up, though. So if you're hard picking into the Jumpluff, you go Zard. And if you thinking Zard's coming out, you go Kingdra, because Kingdra should have a winning matchup versus Blastoise and obviously the Charizard. Let's see what happens here. I mean, looking at patterns, what Elo Bandit was doing in the first set was, I think his philosophy would be like, okay, Kingdra scares out these 2 Pokemon. Or no. I guess Jumpluff and I guess potentially Metagross scare Registeel enough for me to go Kingdra. Let's see what happens. And the Kingdra comes out. Denis calls it into the Registeel. Surf does nothing, even with a crit 43, nothing. Amnesia Registeel playing it safe. Has no risk. There's no risk. And just going to start Seismic Tossing down, I would think. Or is just going to set up the rest. I mean, I guess there's no problem doing so unless Kingdra starts Dragon Dancing and Earthquaking you. And it's just going to Seismic Toss down. Just a solid pick from Denis. Could have got finessed by Jumpluff / a critting Metagross. This could have been counter Registeel, though, which makes more sense, actually, because that would be a much more solid answer to Metagross instead of hoping to not get critical hit. So we see Denis is up 2-0. Denis brings the old team from week 1, and Elo Bandit brings presumably an old sample team, which I think is a little bit ass. Zapdos, Blaziken, Jolteon. Jolteon is really just not, really just isn't a good Pokemon, honestly. You're better off using Raikou most of the time, but what Jolteon has, I guess, is just an overall better Sceptile matchup, which is, I mean, it is ultra big. An overall better Alakazam matchup as well than Raikou. And its speed ties with Aerodactyl. And I guess if you are afraid of, like, I don't even know, like, I don't know, I guess, like, better jump-off matchup, but Jolteon just loses so many more matchups than Raikou overall and in preview. But let's see here. Just looking like a simple 2-1, which is what this team is kind of trying to create. You either go Blaziken into the Tyranitar, or you go Jolteon or Zapdos into one of the other two. Whichever one has hidden power ice is what I think Elo Bandit would go here. What is kind of cool though is Blaziken's matchup here is actually kind of nasty, because like you can Sky Uppercut, kill the Tyranitar, or Reversal. Actually, JK, you can't because of Sand. Fire move destroys the Venusaur, assuming you're faster. And Blaziken could be that Endure Salac hidden power ice set and beat the Salamence, which I don't think this team needs, because one of these can be considered a Salamence answer with hidden power ice. But let's see how this plays out. Elo goes Jolteon, definitely has hidden power ice, and calls out the Salamence, I would presume. Let's see, substitute turn 1. It still is the Iron Defense set with Dragon Claw. It's going to sub again. Going to just keep Dragon Clawing, hoping to God that Jolteon does not have hidden power ice. Dragon Claw, 100% accurate, no risk. Sub again. Into the hidden power ice, and the Mence does not take it. And great pick from Elo is bringing this back. Game 4. This is a nuts game. Nuts. So Elo's down 1-2. Denis brings a pretty solid looking team. I mean, you got just Blastoise, Tyranitar, Blissey. Having Blastoise as your main fighting type answer though is actually mega yikes now that I think about it. Yes, Blastoise is fast, but not Dynamax Blastoise. Like, yes, Blastoise is fast, but like we look at like, I mean, isn't Medicham faster? Medicham's literally faster. And I just don't, I mean, yes, Blastoise can outpace and sub Hydro Cannon on a lot of fighting types, but Heracross is faster and Medicham is faster, so I honestly don't like this look as much now that I think about it. I think a better fighting type answer is mandated, because you're literally just double weak to fighting, and fighting is a good type in ADV 1v1, because it usually beats Registeel. Anyway. So yeah, looking at the preview here, I don't know. I mean, like, if this is Spadef Blissey and it tank, or no, if this is Spadef Marowak, that should be a Blissey answer. But I don't know. I don't even know what else to think about this, because it's a nuts game. Let's look at what happens here. Gengar into the Blissey. Blissey beats the Sceptile, should beat the Gengar, and could just freeze the Marowak with a Serengrace Ice Beam. So I like this click from Denis. You're up 2-1. You can make a safer click like this. But Elo Bandit pulls out Banded Gengar. What? Why? What? Why? What? Why? Why is the question. Is it trying to lure the Blissey, apparently? Like, what else is it trying to do here is the question. Bro. Cool. I'm still kind of confused about this now that I think about it, because, like, I don't know, like, are you Dynamic Punch and hope that you hit a Tyranitar and maybe, like, try to finesse a Registeel? Like, is it Banded Shadow Ball so that you could, like, beat an Alakazam and you, like, tank for the initial Psychic, which with Gengar Spadef I bet you can, unless you get hit with a Supataya? I really don't know, honestly. But it worked here. It lured the Blissey. Look, Ice Beam does nothing. And Sludge Bomb kills. And, like, it was eventually going to poison, and it was doing enough to kill. And I mean, honestly, pretty sick by Elo Bandit to bring the Sludge Bomb Gengar. Game 4. And now we have Game 5. A very cool game. Pokemon that they've never brought really before. I mean, Jirachi is coming out. The Sceptile's coming out. Marowak. This looks like an old team that was used. And Elo Bandit bringing a cool-looking Blissey, Celebi, Swampert. Kind of looks like an ADVOU backbone, honestly. And, yeah, what I noticed here is that, like, the Celebi matchup on Denis's end is kind of shaky. Marowak is going to lose, usually, unless it's Hidden Power Bug. Sceptile has a shaky matchup, unless it's banned, and I guess you might, too, at KO. Jirachi, Jirachi plus Sceptile is a really cool preview besides the fire weakness, because of how versatile and potentially scary they are. And here I see, like, I don't see why Elo Bandit doesn't go any sort of Celebi here, because it just provides such great matchups. Blissey would be nice into the Sceptile / Jirachi and hope that the Marowak doesn't come out. And I think it is a better Swampert here, because Swampert, while might have a good matchup against Jirachi, if it's Cursepert without Surf, it would lose to SD Marowak hilariously. But yeah, let's just see how this plays out. So see Celebi into the Jirachi. I'm just going to let this play out. It's Leech Seed Celebi and Calm Mind Jirachi. So what I'm thinking here is that if this is Rest Jirachi, that the Jirachi should win. But let's just see how this plays out. Sub. Calm Minds again. So it is lefties. This is lefties. Okay, so let's just see how this is going to play out. Celebi has Psychic. Probably doesn't have Calm Mind. Jirachi has Ice Punch for Salaman's matchup, I assume. And just, you know, good coverage in general. Let's just see what happens. It's sub. Celebi is going to Ice Punch again. So look at how much Celebi is healing behind lefties and Leech. It's already back up to 94 every single time it subs. Substitutes. Takes another Ice Punch. 75. Is going to try to break it down. I think Elo Bandit is hoping that this doesn't have Rest or Wish. Protects to get even more lefties recovery. 94. And it's already back at 100. And Jirachi is slowly flailing. Substitutes. Ice Punches again. Protects. And we see the Wish. I don't know how I feel about Wish in ADV 1v1. I mean, Jirachi is the only viable user potentially, but it's like a weird middle ground of like rest and like instant recovery, but like it's not instant because you have to wait a turn, and I guess you do get lefties recovering between the turn, but like you could still be getting broken down, and you have to actually click Wish to recover. I don't know how I feel about Wish, but let's just see how it interacts here, because Denis is not going to be getting the power points of Rest, Sleep, Calm Mind. And the question is like, yes, Jirachi can sustain itself with Wish, but is it going to be enough to break past a Celebi that is behind the Substitute and is healing so much with Leech Seed plus lefties and Protect? Very interesting here. We see, yeah, Elo really liking this Leech Seed sub Protect like ideas with Celebi, Venusaur, and Jumpluff. Substitutes again. Jirachi's now just going to keep clicking Calm Mind. Protect. It reveals to be Ice Beam Thunderbolt. No Psychic. Very interesting. Presumably for the Gyarados matchup, seeing that Elo Bandit did bring Gyarados game 1. I don't know if that was a last minute choice, but it's also probably because like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Bolt Beam coverage is just good in general, especially with Serene Grace. You can fish for freezes and paralysis, kind of like Blissey. Psychic gets a nice def job. Doesn't matter. Thunderbolt is now breaking through the sub, so Jirachi reveals that it does have multiple ways to break through Substitute, which is important. Wish is up, Psychic, Protect, and I think what we're seeing here is that the problem here that we're going to run into is Celebi is running out of substitutes. 8 substitutes. And theoretically here, I believe Jirachi can just keep mixing up Ice Punch and Thunderbolt, and it'll be enough to handle the Protects and the substitutes from Celebi. Substitute, Protect, you know, and it's just going to be too much for the Substitute and Protect. Too much power points, and you know, Celebi eventually ran out of the subs. 1 Protect, sub, Protect. Tries the Psychic, last minute chance, but it's going to get destroyed by the Ice Punch. And Denis takes it again in 5. So they played 2 best of 5s, and Denis took both in 5, which was like honestly pretty sick. Just really cool series in general. I don't know if there was much to learn, but just kind of like some cool series from week 3 and week 4. And yeah, I don't really have a lot of super funny moments to cover. I didn't really feel like there was like super duper funny moments. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like this, you know, analytical content on my favorite tier, ADV 1v1, something that I'm really passionate about. And stay tuned for the... Oh, wait. We've got to look at how the playoffs are going. Playoffs round 1 and tie breaks. This is... So right now, who we have guaranteed here in the top, so it's 8 teams in the top. We got PJ and Weirdmon, Earth Gurgle and Omniweave, Quantum Tesseract and Euphonos. Quantum Tesseract has been on a tear. I'm pretty sure undefeated. And then PQS and Crucify, 1v1 mainstays, and they're doing well. Now, because after these tiebreak games, we have Sci-Fi-Con and ZOAW, Soulwind and TDK, which are both undefeated. Death to the West, Adam, Doc, and Crow Crumbs. Very, very stacked and very, very exciting playoffs. I will do a video on round 1, I believe. Might combine round 1 and round 2 if there isn't enough to cover, but like, I feel like there's going to be enough to cover, so stay tuned for that. And now, you can make sure to like and subscribe, comment on the video, all that stuff. I've been pretty busy these past weeks, but, you know, I still have ADV 1v1, so I'm still gonna find time to make videos for it, and I will see you guys on the next video.